Welcome to the Purple Pill Podcast. I'm your host, Robert. We're also here with our co-hosts, Darren and LA. The Purple Pill Podcast, this is going to be our first episode. A little bit about us. Purple Pill Podcast is just taking both the pills, the blue pill and the red pill at the exact same time. So we're going to give you the blissful ignorance and the reality of the situation all at once. And our host, Darren, take us into the first topic.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and get it started like this. Our first segment is going to be You Should Be Fired. And we're going to go ahead and narrow this down today to the people who created you can just say the Pfizer company and Bill Gates for the vaccine. As y'all been seeing with the videos, people have been developing some crazy stuff. Like, was it cerebral palsy with their face, I believe? I don't want to smile about it, but it's crazy.
Oh man, here we go.
It's crazy, bro. Like all these. Look, first off, Bill Gates shouldn't be involved. Like I understand Microsoft, but he should not be involved with stuff that's going inside people's bodies. Even though we consume the internet every day, I get that. But nah, these side effects on top of it, you can't be saying people should be getting this. And it's crazy because I know a lot of people who's starting to get the vaccine just because they want things to go back to normal. But we all know it's not going to go back to normal quickly.
Okay, what makes y'all think that the vaccine is giving these people these things, man?
Man, if it's not, it has to be. It has to be. You can't. You can't have multiple people getting the same thing. You can't.
From this one shot, these people just magically produce these effects. And this has been
it's side effects.
This isn't just something
that's
on Facebook.
Look, we don't know. Okay, it's true. We don't know about that. But from what we know, from what we've been seeing, nurses have been taking it and they've been getting messed up. If it's not, now don't get me wrong, it's not every person that takes it, but we're starting to see some causes where people are getting messed up. And on top,
I personally know 3 nurses who have taken this shot and they are perfectly fine. They completely endorse the shot, so I'm not 100% on it with that one. But this Bill Gates thing, though, you got me intrigued in this. I haven't heard about Billy Gates being part of it. I need to know more about it.
Y'all haven't heard about Bill Gates trying to be involved with from the beginning, he's been saying people should be getting vaccinated.
I mean, I know he's pro-vaccine, like, you know, don't run around here without a vaccine, but I didn't know he personally had hands in this Pfizer vaccine. You just dropped some knowledge on to me. That's all right.
I'm gonna have to do some more research, but I know he's the main person pushing it that they're putting in front of people.
What is he doing? Is he just trying to what is he doing?
He's just trying to make sure people get vaccine. He don't even care. He don't even care which company is promoting the vaccine, because there's more than just the Pfizer vaccine. There's one more. I don't got it written down, but there's one more, and he doesn't care as long as you get vaccinated. Either way, there's 2 different companies. You can't just be saying just take one. I think Moderna actually is the other one. I could be wrong.
Let me Google this. I'm about to Google this. Okay.
Yeah, why are you so against Bill Gates? So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's not against Bill Gates. People are saying this about him. They are saying.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That people are saying. BBC News is saying vaccine rumors are debunked as of 1 month ago by microchips and altering DNA and more inside of these shots. I don't know. This might be one of those Facebook.
Look, I agree with that. That don't sound real at all. That don't sound real. I'm talking about the cerebral palsy on their face.
They do got in the GatesFoundation.org. They are pushing the vaccine very hard, so I can see that they might.
That's what I'm saying. He's the biggest person pushing it from the very beginning. Before the vaccine was ever released, when it was being worked on, he was the biggest person pushing it.
$100 million donation. Damn, yeah.
Hey, he's heavily involved.
What's he get back? What's he getting back on that?
That's what the question truly is. So, like, why are you that involved in that? And if it's just because you just want people to, you know, be healthy and stuff, that's cool. But at the same time, if you want people to be healthy, you probably don't want them in dealing with the tech company putting stuff in your body.
Okay. To go with these, how much are these vaccines? Are these vaccines? Are you able to get these on normal insurance? Do you need super insurance? You got to be what? You got to be a white person to get it. How are they rolling them out? I know I know nurses and doctors and first line people got them first, but how do normal people
I
get
don't.
it? I just go to
I'm
Walgreens.
gonna be. From what I know, I think you got to sign up for it first. Like you gotta like let them know that you going in for it. Like, and then after that, you gonna probably get it. I don't know personally,
So you
but
just call your doctor's office and be like, "I want the vaccine."
yeah, I guess. I mean, they're not gonna call you, right? So yeah, that's the way I look
Yeah,
at it.
true.
Or or are they about to start calling you?
That would be crazy. That would be nuts. So you talk.
My my dude I'm not going to disclose no names. I don't want nobody getting paid or harmed from my voice. But he worked at an undisclosed location that served food, and his mother-in-law had been tested positive for COVID, and she works for the state, like Ohio State, so they automatically reached out to his employer, not even him, but to his employer, to inform them that he has been in contact with someone with COVID, and they enforced it that he could not go to work for 14 consecutive days.
Now that just
Imagine that.
okay. Now I understand the importance of that, but that sounds like a privacy problem, right? Am I wrong? Like y'all think,
Like, how can a doctor tell you my
yeah,
business?
you can't do that, right? At that, you can't tell anybody's business. Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong with that?
Nah,
Is it
yeah,
just because
you're
of the
right.
You're
pandemic?
That
wrong
don't
with that.
sound right.
Yeah, that's a new one. That's the first time I heard that one. Uh, but
Luckily,
yeah.
he's salary, so he still got paid. But if he wasn't, I'd be pissed.
Oh, bro,
I'd
could
be
you imagine being hourly? Be like, bro, how am I going? Nah, bro, you gotta take your sick days with the. Nah, man, forget that. All I'm saying is, if they keep on messing people up, they need to be fired. We can agree with that, right?
I agree with that. I
If
agree with that. But I guess the real question is, are you gonna take the vaccine when it come out?
I'm waiting a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
take that. You
waiting a
gotta
little
take the
bit.
second
You
batch. You
gonna
gotta
wait
see
a
how
little
people
bit?
turn out
I'm
first.
taking my time. I'm taking my time. I'm like, I told you, I see people getting vaccinated right now. I'm sitting here waiting. I'm sitting here waiting. Just, hey, you gonna keep posting? No, you gonna stop posting, or you gonna tell us what happened? If everything,
The
Isn't this one of the quickest
the way I
vaccines they
see
ever
it, the
made?
only
yeah, the quickest one.
it
Yeah,
is.
they said the quickest one before this took like 4 years. I think it was something like this was like the quick turnaround. Don't get me wrong, we live in the technology age where biotechnology they probably can get it a little bit quicker, but I still feel like from 4 years to what 6 months, like 9 months, right? That's how long for the most part getting it made.
From like January to it was made in like 4 months. It just took trials for it took forever.
Yeah,
They
Charles,
had to try it.
yeah. It just sounded like it was forced, and I get it because everything do gotta go back to normal, but
What do you mean
it
by
feel like
force?
everything's. I feel like it was just pushed. It was rushed. Like the public
Backlash?
criticism was just like, yeah, it was like we need this, or everybody's gonna get it, or just not make money because everything's still going to be closed.
I can feel. I know when it comes time because I got kids and shit. So if if I need it for them to go back to school or something, or I'll get it. But otherwise, I'm at home all day. Well,
That's
I'm
true.
cool.
That's true.
I'm cool. I personally feel like I had COVID last time my dude was in the hospital. Like I couldn't breathe for like a week. I feel like we had it a long time ago, and I didn't know what it
Yeah,
was. Like last October, last
there's a couple
November.
people like that. I know somebody that was like that. No, November 2019. They was the exact same way. They was like, I couldn't even
Yeah,
go over their crib because they was like, yo, like they too bad. You can't come over. So I get it.
I thought I had a really bad flu.
The question is, that's the real thing. When did it really get introduced to America? That's my question. Like,
I think my running conspiracy theory about how COVID came was through the dab pens. You know how the e-cigs and the dab pens all come
That's
from
funny.
China.
yeah,
I think that's how they. I think that's how they got here. Because when everybody was just smoking old man shit, it was cool. But as soon as these dab pens came in from China,
everybody.
everybody's coughing.
Oh man, that's funny. I could see that. I could see that because those things was taking over, especially where we at. Those were taking over for a minute. It's funny you don't see those no more ever since COVID became a thing. You don't see those. I don't see
Yeah,
nobody breaking those out.
everybody. Everybody you want to smoke, you gotta bring me some
Yeah,
flowers. I'm not hitting no
yeah,
crib.
nah. People stopping that midway through. Like, nah, I'm good. Mm,
Hmm. Gotta kill that investment. I gotta kill that
yeah,
investment.
forget that. But did y'all hear about this next segment to teach me something new? Y'all hear about all the rappers losing money because touring, right? They not touring.
Yeah.
Who is all
It's
these
not. All
rappers?
right, it's not even just rappers. It's all performers in general. All performers. All
Uh,
performers. Especially like if you got those hits from like the '70s and the '80s, and you just touring off of those, it's over with. It's over with
hmm
for you.
But you mean they ain't got no royalties, or they don't own
They.
their
I
shit? That's
mean,
why.
if you getting who playing
Probably
songs from the
engineers.
'80s and '70s? Yeah, that's another thing.
Don't.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire is queued right now on my phone,
Uh,
boy.
all right, but who they don't own their royalties. That's for sure. They signed a
That's fair.
contract.
That's fair.
Nah, but yeah, it's them 360 deals, like Rob said.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Explain. What is this 360 deal
So
for the uneducated crowd like myself?
me
What is
personally, I want to know when it
360?
was first introduced because it had to come out like right when streaming was a thing. Because
Oh no,
before,
before that,
go ahead.
the 360 deal has been around since the day of time.
Are you serious?
No.
Yeah, think about it. All right, think
What is
about
it though?
so for like the music industry standpoint, the reason why you would want to sign with like a big business or like a big company is so they can like distribute your
Mm-hmm.
music for the most part, right?
Mhm.
So if you're an artist, let's use like Chance since he's independent. If you're an artist like Chance who wants to put out his music and try to reach like a bigger audience, you want to sign with a big label, and they might sign you for something like, let's say, $1 million for your first 2 albums. So coming off the street, that sounds great. You get $1 million to do 2 albums.
Yeah.
But let's say you're big as Chance and it blows up, and that album makes $10 million, and you have like a hit single that made like probably like 4 of that. They get to keep that $10 million. All you get to keep is your
Oh,
500,000 for that first album.
hell
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So the argument is, okay, I know I signed that deal, but since I made you all that money, I should at least get some percentage of that money, since it's so much. But the argument back is, well, if you made less, so let's say Chance's album didn't sell well and it did trash, it was terrible, and only made like 50,000 bucks.
Still
Then
hold all that.
the distributor, the company, would have to eat that, and Chance will still get his 500,000.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the
So
thing
that's the
is,
argument between the 360 deal for the most
so
part.
yeah,
What I
but
understand.
yeah. But here's the thing about the 360 is that they making most of their money off of touring. So since streaming came around, you got the royalty for the streaming you got the royalty in general. Now the artist very rarely gets a percentage of that. Then you got the streaming numbers. When the streaming came, that's when they was like, all right, we got it. The record companies like, we got to get involved with that. So that left money for the artists on touring. Now, since they're losing money off of sales because sales ain't a thing, streaming is the only way. They're taking money out of their touring too. So now these artists can't tour. And before that, they already had companies taking the money for the touring. Taking half the like a 360 deal. The reason why it's called 360 is because they're taking money from everything now. Before it was like, oh, you can keep your merchandise, you can keep your touring. Now we need the touring, the merchandise, everything included. We need a little bit more money of all of that just because the sales is gone. Streaming is the only thing. That's why they said certain artists, they should just make deals with like iTunes and Apple directly and just release their album through there, because they're going to pay you so much more. I think it was one thing I saw, it was like Spotify is worth so much more than Universal Music Group, I believe. It's worth ridiculous amounts more all of a sudden.
Because you can just pay them to do it. They can instantly market it to 100 million people.
Like that. And if you got the social media following, that's why these record companies are only getting people with big buzzes off of social media, because we don't got to put no work into marketing at that point. You already did it all on social media. So now you about to come in, you gonna be hot. We gonna take the money from everything while you touring, and then You just gonna go away.
And if you look at it like
Is
this,
this why we're
especially with social media nowadays, the big record companies got to do less. They have to do less work because a lot of people are already coming in with this big following of people. So I already got 1 million people following me on Instagram. I'm bringing all those people to bring my Spotify instead of before where they had to bring the people to you, and they had to market you to them. You already got the people.
Yeah.
So the idea is, if you already got the people and the audience and the listener, why do you need the big labels anymore?
You don't. I mean, you don't. If you're the artist, you don't. Everything is given to you on the internet that you can do it all. It's more work, but you keep more of the income.
Is this what they call the not Spotify, SoundCloud rap era? Is this what it all created?
Yeah, that's what that created.
Once you get your numbers high enough on SoundCloud, then you get a record deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That social media involved with it. Like, SoundCloud is just the first social media for music. The second they started introducing, like, you can add music into Instagram and all of that stuff, that's when it started going crazy. Because if you get a song with what's it called, a challenge, like any of those challenges on social media, everybody and their mama doing that challenge. Everybody and their mama is streaming your song just to do the challenge. So your song just went through the roof.
No, man.
Yeah, the second the challenge happens, through the roof.
Another problem is that they're talking about, when you talk about streaming, is they're always talking about how much the streaming really costs. Because you got to think about it. Back in the day, when there was albums, you bought the album, so you spend your $12 on the album. That's $12 is going straight to the artist. Yeah. Like, if I stream one song one time, how much is that given to the artist? 2 cents, 1 cent per stream.
It's less than that.
I don't know.
It depends on the actual company that you're going with, that you're streaming from. I know the one that I got, it's probably like the least. And I know that's wrong, but artists ain't getting paid that much when I listen to them. But I think Tidal is the one where it's like the most, like they're paying artists a whole bunch more compared to other ones. I don't want to. Yeah, Spotify, but yeah.
Spotify says they pay about 0.003 of a cent per every stream.
That's wild.
That's crazy. And Spotify is probably the most known one throughout the world. Like, that's crazy.
So they would have to get 10 streams to get 3 cents.
Whew. Yeah, that's a grind. That's a grind for any artist, man.
But I mean, if you get $100 million streams, then
that's a good check.
Now what?
That's a good. Yeah.
You just got $3 million for.
And that's just Spotify. Like,
just Spotify.
Yeah. Think about Apple, Tidal, all that other stuff.
Justin Bieber is caking, huh?
Right, yeah.
That boy don't got no less than $100 million on each platform. 100 million streams.
Bro, as soon as the album come out, I know they be eating. I know it.
Okay.
The check might take a while, but yeah, I know they get it. Them 360 deals is something else, though. I can't do it.
Let's see. The most viewed music videos of 2020 are
That's gonna be interesting.
In the billions.
Oh, I know that Drake video got to be in there.
Really?
It is at number. Okay, the first one's the Baby Shark one, but that's different. Despacito, 7.04 billion views.
That's crazy.
How much is that? Let's see.
That's crazy.
Let's see how much that is. Times 7.
I'll do 0.00.
Shit, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to make sure my zeros are straight and I'm fried. I need one more 0. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Think about it. That's how many cents they paying you that you got to add that many zeros.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's $200 million.
I mean, but that's a couple billion streams, man. That's multiple people watching that video
Damn,
over and over again.
And then it's The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. What the? Who? They got bread.
That's a dope song, though. That's a dope song. Oh yeah, they eating.
Yeah.
Bro, Jay-Z said it perfect, bro. Like nowadays, like you just need one song and you good. You set for life. Cause like
your boy Wiz Khalifa on there will see you again.
Yo, yeah. I mean, but the thing is, when Paul Walker died, like that's the video everybody goes to, like to just like mourn him. So when that happens, money, man.
That's
just money.
Crazy too.
It is a good song. I ain't gonna lie. I saw him perform that. That's a good song. That's a good song.
Billion views, bro. I've never seen anything a billion. I don't think I've seen a billion videos.
Bro, yeah, bro.
And
man,
these motherfuckers,
bro, man. People be watching them, bro. Like you gotta imagine. Like when they first come out, they get 100 million like that. If it's for the right moment. Mariah Carey, for example, she
Mariah Carey nowhere on this one.
Yeah, she not, but she got that one song that comes on every Christmas.
Yeah.
That song will probably pay a good check every year, like because of how much people play it. People play it all the time when it comes around that time of year. I guarantee you, she get that check in like March or May and just be balling the whole summer.
Yeah, she probably get $1 million a year off that song.
Exactly, right? Exactly. As soon as that song comes on.
She married to a billionaire. You know, I used to have the biggest crush on Mariah Carey.
I remember that.
Growing up, that shit was wild. You couldn't tell me nothing about Mariah Carey.
Right, man.
So then how are independent artists? Then if are independent artists, do they consider them independent because they're not in these 360 deals?
They not.
Or are they independent because they're just not with the large?
I mean, both. I mean, they're not with a large company. That's mostly the main thing. Because you're doing most of the grind yourself. You buying all the equipment. You probably, if you're a rapper, you probably buying the beat or you making the beat. Then you gotta rap. Then you gotta market it. Then you gotta promote it. Like
So then how is it any different than having a big company do the same thing and still have to pay for it?
I mean,
the only difference. You just don't see any of those residual incomes.
The biggest difference, you probably just won't make as much money because you probably just won't have as much outreach.
Who's a rapper that came out around the same time as Chance?
When did Chance?
Who's a rapper?
Like 2013.
Yeah, something like that. Well, that's when I first started hearing about him. I know YG. That's the perfect analogy I can get.
Well, 400.
That's my dude. But when they came out, you could tell like if they were doing the same numbers, let's just say hypothetically they was doing the same numbers, Chance is making more money because it don't.
You think so?
Yeah, there's no question because it's no like people. There's less people touching that money. Like YG. He signed to Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy signed to Universal Music Group. Then they got to distribute the song. They got to get the radio play for the song. They got to get him on tour. I'm not saying he's on the 360 deal. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot more people that got to take that money. That they're just earned. They just deserve it first.
Okay. So Kendrick Lamar, is he an independent rapper or is he signed to a big label?
He signed.
He signed?
Yeah.
Okay, so he signed. Kendrick Lamar signed. Let's say, who else is an independent rapper that is Wiz Khalifa independent?
No, he's not.
I was about to say he might be now, but I know he didn't start off like that.
He wasn't at first?
Yeah. He might still be signed.
I thought he owned his own record label, not to deviate. But what I was trying to compare was a well-known signed rapper and a well-known independent rapper, and see what the differences were. Maybe that way I could finally understand this.
I mean, that's pretty much how you get it. Even when you get to the rappers that got their own labels, I was just recently watching a video on this. Somebody's like Rick Ross. Rick Ross got his own label, but it's through Atlantic. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like the parent company.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just.
Yep. So They just are distributed by another company. They just pay distribution costs, but everything else is in house, right?
I would assume so for those artists.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
my understanding
kind of,
for artists of that caliber.
kind of, but not really. Like, let's say, like Chance's first couple projects, you never hear like a Pharrell on a beat. You never hear a Timbaland. That's because he has to pay them directly for that beat. The record company can pay the producer straight up off the top. Yo, here's 50,000, make this beat. Chance, being an independent artist or anybody else like him, wouldn't be able to just be like, all right, here's $50,000, make this beat. They have to be like, they have to make their own beats. Like,
Or
they either have to
a deal to like maybe
or buy it through somebody else that's a less well-known producer.
Yeah.
Then how did the Gucci Mans and the other trap gods come out? They had money. They just was buying.
Hold up. Gucci is a totally different animal.
He was independent, wasn't he?
I would say so, but you gotta also remember all those producers, the Zaytovens, the Mike.
Those was all in house.
Yeah, but you didn't know. We didn't know about them until they jumped on Gucci stuff. We didn't know. We didn't know that their beats was that. We look. Gucci So Icy was the thing that pushed him up there. Exactly, it pushed him up there. And then
I can hear it already.
when he started working with the underground producers, everybody in the world was like, yo, these producers are crazy. Like, these producers are nuts. So that's, I think they really started getting their stuff from.
I don't, like you said, coming out the hood, rapping and shit. Yeah, I can see someone say, I give you $1 million to make me an album, because I'm about to just drop a quick album and, make my $1 million, get me another record deal. But, like, how do the 4-2 Dougs and how do the little babies and them, how do they survive? How are they living out here then? If everybody's just eating their money,
I mean,
I don't understand how they able to afford these $100,000 chains and these $4 million houses. What's going on?
You gotta remember, they getting paid in advance that they gonna have to pay back. Not necessarily them. I don't know what they do, but they getting paid in advance. Like, if I got signed today, they're giving me like $20 million. Here you go. Here's this $20 million. But that's just $20 million. That's a loan. It's a loan because you're gonna pay it back. And if you're not gonna pay it back, you're just gonna be. They're gonna own your music catalog forever. So let's say if you wanted to put out an album, you would never be able to put it out without getting cleared through the record company. There's a lot of people who are artists that are signed somewhere, and you'll never hear about them just because they can't put out their music. I think Rich Homie Quan was just saying this. Like, he signed his deal and he couldn't put out music for the longest because
what happened to Kwani?
Because they owned him. They owned his music. They owned it. Like, they'll tell you if you can't put out music. And you can't do nothing about it. That's why Prince changed his name to that symbol back in the day. They owned his music. He was like, nah, I'm not going out like that. Change a whole persona. I'm gonna change my whole name and everything. So now
I'm not the same person.
Exactly. It's contractual, man. Everybody's situation is probably different anyway.
That's gotta fuck them up though. Like, how do that work for them in like child support? Like, if they not working, like, they children's is, they maybe mamas want that $1 million every year still. What's going on? Byron, where's my money?
You said what, Rob?
They probably still have to pay like a percentage of it through the government. It's just probably just more money coming out up front.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just through the tax. But still, you make a good point. I mean, you can't just ask for $1 million because you got a baby, right?
No,
Drake's baby.
It has to be some type of percentage of your income.
Oh yeah.
But my income, because I'm a rapper, can fluctuate. My dude can put down, I made $1,000 this month and pay me under the table. No, what? Like, when was the last time Chief Keef went touring? And I know that nigga got kids, and he's not paying nothing. Like,
look, man, I don't know. I don't know if they not paying nothing or if it's a legal loophole or they just got jail time coming in the future. I don't know what it is.
That nigga just bought a Urus. Like, his baby mama was on Twitter lighting him up.
Oh, right.
Oh, shit, dude. And his response was, "But look at the Urus, though." I was like, yeah. They coming for you. Them Alphabet Boys is coming for you.
Yeah, it's coming. They coming. There's just nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that.
I don't know. So, like, the Drakes in the world aren't hurting from this. They catalog strong enough.
Nah, Drake.
Oh,
Have you seen that nigga's house?
No.
Oh my god.
I don't want to be sad.
yeah. Don't look at it.
Should I Google it? I'm going to Google it.
It's gonna make you feel like you're not doing enough in the world. Trust me.
Drake. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I need a sell. An NBA regulation size indoor basketball court.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I need to sell drugs. What is going on?
Yeah, bro. Like, nah. Drake's on a different level, but he probably not hurting for money.
Yo.
He probably not hurting for money, but
He different, bro. When he put out that what album was it? That Scorpion album? He said he got 20 million for both sides.
wait, what?
Oh,
He
What?
said he
Almost
got
had a
20
heart
million
attack.
for both side A and side B.
What? From who?
From that
$40
Scorpion
million.
album.
Apple?
You talking
For
about?
Apple Music?
Yeah, it probably did. Yeah, nah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
No, I think his
Yeah.
label paid him that.
This is wonderful.
That's not.
I need...
That's not.
This is what I need to do. Degrassi season 18 coming out. I need to start my acting career. Because if this is where I need... This is where it brings you.
You're right. Aubrey Graham.
You go, my guy. You know what's crazy? When I was in high school, and when the Kendrick Lamars and the J. Cole's, the J. Electronicas, and the Currencies, and everybody was hot. Everybody was, oh, he the best. I was like, Drake the best one, y'all. I was saying it from day one. Nobody listened. Nobody
I didn't think
listened.
that. I didn't think that.
Look, that was a debate, though. I remember those days. People coming down.
Since Houston led to Vegas.
Hey, that was a record. That was a record. I'll never forget. I got caught one time in class. We was in the computer. It was just a quick story. Bro, why was I was just so much in love with that song. I actually looked up to see if there was a place called Houston, Atlanta, Vegas overseas. I thought it was a place somewhere in Europe or something. I'm like, oh, no. Girl called us and like she called me while I'm looking it up in class. She was just like, it called me out in front of everybody. I was like, dang, that was the worst. But hey, I don't know. Back then, it was a real debate. That was a debate back then. People was like, nah, Wiz is the best. Nah, Wayne is the best. Nah, Drake is the best. That was a debate back then.
I was always Team Wayne. So when this young man came out with Wayne, and I heard what they was doing, I was like, y'all need to watch out for this light skinned man. He got an afro, but he nice. He's nice.
I think nobody.
People was like, oh no, Tiger's better than him. I was like, who is Tiger? No.
Nobody could predict Drake's run though. Drake had a crazy run so far from back then. Because the first song that I was like, yo, this dude's actually like really nice was that "Money to Blow" with him, Wayne, and Birdman.
Yo,
bro.
Oh my god.
When I first heard,
I told niggas from 100 pounds ago he was gonna be the
bro,
I like 25 cent on 25 mil.
Nah, you talking about the motto? Yeah, nah, I'm talking about where Wayne at the end of the song just said the perfect line, and it really meant he meant it. He's like, we're gonna be fine if we put Drake on every hook. I was like, yeah. Ever since he said that, it made sense.
Speaking of hooks, I know I'd be late to music, but I heard today a French Montana song where he is on the hook, and it was phenomenal.
That's all French Montana can do. That's all he can do.
Hold on.
I'm sorry,
but this one hit me. This one when you got free time, it's called Hot Boy Bling with Jack Harlow and somebody else. But just listen to it and tell me when he was on this chorus. I was like, this nigga French got it, man.
Yeah.
I be hating on French so hard.
Bro, me too. Nah, bro, he be killing choruses. I give him that. He'll kill the hook, but his verses is where I'll be like, man, like you gotta be. I was about to say, I think you just gotta be from New York to really like vibe with it. Cause I'll just be sitting there like, nah, man, I can't get this. I can't. He'll come into a song and just destroy the whole song with his verse.
I like it. He got good energy. When they was doing the little,
he got good energy.
Little ice challenge.
Yeah,
his shit was blinging. It was.
Man, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. What y'all think about this? The top 5. What y'all? Wait, what did I say? What did I say in the chat?
It says top 5 discussion lessons learned or reiterated on 2020.
What y'all think?
I didn't hear shit. What's that?
Top 5 discussion lessons learned or reiterated in 2020. So would you like
Top 5
things you learned in 2020?
I had to make a list of top 5 things that 2020 taught you. You know what?
Let me write this.
All right, I know my first one.
Go ahead, Rob.
White people are a trip. And like I already knew that, but
the
I
racist.
Can't stand white people.
Whoa! You mean the racist?
Really can't.
You mean the racist from the summer?
Nah, bro, it's everything, bro. Do you see white people are crip walking now?
Who?
They got little white kids crip walking on TikTok. They're giving tutorials on how to crip walk.
Who's teaching them this shit?
I don't know. Online, bro. I had this little 12-year-old white
girl online figuring out
little kid just going. Oh man, that is
They're
nuts.
hitting that shit too. That's the problem.
Dude, what you mad about, bro? They gonna have to learn the gang culture.
They don't give a fuck, bro. They don't culturally appropriate anything.
So you blame Chris? Man,
Chris Brown teaching them how to do this shit. You see his music videos?
Look, let's just be honest though. Ain't none of those little kids gonna crip walk through Compton, through any dangerous neighborhood. They ain't gonna crip walk anywhere to do there. So I don't know. You can't.
I want to. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Rob, you can't hate them for that, man. They kids on top of it, man.
That's some bullshit.
I went to the smoothie place and I seen this child, maybe 14, 15 years old, white boy. He was there with his grandma. This nigga pants was sagging lower than mine. I was like, what is? I was over here looking at him. I was like, damn, I don't feel safe. Like, what we got in this man? Weighing his shit down.
Nah, man.
You know?
See.
And his grandma was like, what do you want? He was like, you know what I want, man. He walked off. I was like, what do he want? You better order his meal.
You better get it right. You know what you want. Don't not get that wrong, bro. Yeah, nah.
I was like, he going back to the car. You gave him the keys. What's he grabbing? I didn't feel safe at all.
Right, nah. Look, that I feel like all that's supposed to come. I feel like as time goes, people, I don't know, and they kids, like that's a kid too, 15, 16-year-old. Everybody just needs to be punched in their chest one good time and their pants get pulled up. That's the way I look at it.
Parents don't whoop the. How do you? All right, small tangent. Parents don't whoop their kids no more.
Who?
Yeah. I don't know who you talking about.
Who don't whoop their kids?
Parents don't whoop their kids no more.
Nah, people whoop their kids.
White parents may not whoop their kids.
I don't know, bro.
Nah,
I feel like my mom's not gonna whoop my little brother.
Nah, well, hold on. Time out.
What's the problem? Is she tired? I'll pull up.
Yeah, I was about to say, when parents get older, sometimes they do get a little bit more nonchalant with the youngest. They get away with the most. So
no, I will pull up. My arm is still strong. Right?
Look, you said white people don't whip their kids. Yes, they do in 2020. Staying at home with them all day. I bet you then they started whipping their kids.
They still be cussing out their parents. White kids are different. They're different breed.
Bro, you saying that, but you remember that episode of Boondocks Lamilton? Right. Look, but that kid was bad, bro. I guarantee you, there's some black kids trying to disrespect and I bet you, there's people that just looks at them like, wait, I know you ain't talking to your mom like that. Oh, she about to tear you up, bro. She's about, man. That's how I feel. I feel one of the top 5 things I learned is that people are impatient. Like 2020 talking about the virus and the people wanting the vaccine quicker. People are impatient. When I first saw that the shortest we've ever got a vaccine was 4 years, I was like, oh, we're doomed. I was like, because this is the time where people just want instant gratification. They want it quick. They need it quick. When people was like, I want to go on vacation. We saw what was happening in Florida on the beaches when the pandemic was first happening. People are just impatient. Like they just like patience. I don't think anybody has like legit patience with anything that happened in 2020. I'll put it like that.
Okay, so that was my first one you stole.
Oh, my fault.
So I'm gonna have to replace it. My first one was that I'm not impatient at all. That's what I figured out this year.
Right.
I'm an impatient son of a. But I'm gonna switch mine to I'm gonna switch it to a question I had for 2020 since mine got changed. Where did all of the homeless people go?
Los Angeles.
Wow, that's a good question.
Well, I mean, we had a homeless problem in the United States for how long, and we had this pandemic that was raging through everywhere, and everybody was dying. But where were these homeless people who have no access to easy medical care and
real shit? They're probably still on the
street?
street.
You know.
Yeah, I mean,
especially like
but there's a pandemic. There's a curfew.
I mean,
there's a curfew. What are they doing on
You better get to your cardboard box by the curfew time.
Facts.
That's the only way I could look at it.
Because all the police officer could do is either take you to jail or probably take you to like a homeless center, right?
They probably bro. They can't take you to jail. When the pandemic was happening, they was letting people out of jail. So they probably I don't think they was just letting or taking them to jail. I think they say get off the streets, get off to where you supposed to be. Like I went to California, right? And I was in LA. I saw a lot of obviously there's a lot of homeless people out there, but it just seemed like LA's different. It's kind of just normal life out there. But I don't know. I feel like they all still there. It'd be crazy if all the homeless people survived COVID-19. Like not one homeless person got COVID-19.
So I saw an article not too long ago. The reason why this question even came up to me was I saw an article that in San Francisco, the funding was running out and that homeless people were being evicted from the hotels. It looks like the homeless people were sent to hotels and were being put up in hotels and were able to order room service and have clean sheets and things like that on tax dollars.
Oh, that's not cool.
I don't know how true this story is. I don't know how great this article was. I was on Reddit just browsing, and that's when I was like, where did all the homeless people go? So that was my number one question for 2020. It was some article I saw on
San Francisco?
I don't know. I think it was San Francisco. I think that's what it said. If I find it again, I'll share it through the
That sounds right though, because California is a very liberal state. That sounds something like they would do.
And California, that's something else I learned just visiting there. California is a crazy state. Their laws don't make any sense to me.
Bruh. Not even like California, I can understand. Like you can live outside on the beach, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But let's say Ohio, Wisconsin, Colorado, it's cold. Like where are you about to go? Where?
I mean, but the thing is, COVID-19, we didn't experience it until the winter, until just recently. Like it just recently got cold.
COVID's been around since last winter allegedly, and everything got shut down in January, February. People started losing jobs in March when it hit hardcore.
Yeah, March, yeah.
So if all these healthy people who have regular checkups and go to the doctor all the time are dying, where are the homeless people?
That's a good.
What's going on?
They probably tried to set up a bank account to try to get their stimulus check. That's what I would have did.
Can they? Could
I
they
don't
even
know.
have done that?
I don't know. They probably needed some type
of you had to have filed taxes, and I would assume you're not filing taxes, right?
Yeah, I'll probably live off the grid. Yeah, if I'm homeless, yeah.
I mean, might as well at that point.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I'll still try to.
Unless you're trying to rejoin society and you're working with somebody and you just happen to file your taxes, then you're on the come up. But I don't think that's normally the case for those type of people.
Speaking about homeless people, though, one more thing I did learn about this year is that the rich, reiterated. That's why I should put reiterated. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That year, this year, 2020, taught me that the most extreme. People waiting for stimulus checks really need their stimulus checks. They are trying to figure out how to survive. You got Jeff Bezos, and I'm sorry just to use his name, but the way his money went up,
name drop.
the way his money just went through the roof, man. It skyrocketed. I mean, people stay at home, so it makes sense. But the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. I feel like that's the underlying theme of America that you start to learn in 2020.
Yeah, but the thing about America is, the more and more I talk with you, Darren, the more and more I just think about it. The
Mm-hmm.
thing about America is, it's once you're rich, they say it's easier to stay rich. Just
Yeah,
because
money
you
makes
just have
money,
more
baby.
assets.
Money makes
Yeah.
money. It's
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
So what? But
If I had $5,000 in the bank and every month I get 1% APR, and you have $200 in the bank and every month you get 2% APR, who's gonna have more money? Just off rip.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But it's crazy through a pandemic where you think money is going to be spread out a little bit more. That we
not
not
the rich.
nah. That's the thing. The rich, I feel like they. A lot of them just said, "Give me. I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna hold my money. I'm gonna put it into stuff that I know is gonna make more money." Like I think gold went through the roof at one point. Now we're starting to see Bitcoin and cryptocurrency start going through the roof. Like that made like $5,000 in the past month. Hmm.
My other thing I learned this year was don't be loyal to any of these big companies, right?
Mm.
So I used to work for one of these big companies. You know, I was pulling the 50-hour weeks. I was doing weekends. You know, I was out of college, ready to go, right? I was on a project for the longest time, telling these people, get me off this project. They weren't listening to me. They weren't listening to me. COVID finally happened. Everybody got sent home to work from home. I'm still telling them, bro, get me off this project. One day the project came to an end. They're like, oh, just sit on the retainer. We got you. You're one of our good resources, LA. We won't let you go. These motherfuckers called me on April Fool's Day and told me I was let go.
Bro, that's a crazy ass day. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think a lot of people learned that though. They learned that for multiple, like not even just that scenario. That's the scenario that a lot of people went through. But imagine the people when COVID was happening, like really happening. They actually still had to go into work every day when other people was getting sent home. I know you just said that, but those people that really wanted to be like, look, send me home. I don't want to do this no more. We're
Yeah.
in here, 5 people tested positive, and y'all got half the office working from home, but I'm still here. Like, I get it, man. These companies, they don't care. You are dispensable. People are dispensable at their job.
Which was crazy too, because you know, like that brought up the whole racism thing. Like, out of the people who got let go, like maybe 1%, if even, were of non-minority.
Yeah.
Like all the minorities were all first. All the Indian guys, all the black guys, we were all first. One of the guys who I trained while there for my 3 years had his job while I got let go. For 4 months.
I can't stand that.
For 4 months.
I can't stand that.
He had a job.
Nah.
And I'm like, that's crazy. So they'd rather pay this guy that I trained.
Was he getting paid less than you or something?
I don't know what he was getting paid.
It don't even matter. Loyalty was not a pandemic with companies. That's why that's just the truth.
And it was crazy because, like, before it even happened, I started searching around for another job, and I did get another job, and I went to HR, and I was like, you know, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. They're like, oh, LA, we don't want you to go. You're a good worker. Da, 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 da. We'll match what they're paying you with 5%. I was like, you know, you guys are gonna match my pay from there. I'll stay. I thought, you know, we had an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, they didn't give a crap about me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I was salty. At first, when she called me to this little white girl called me, she was like, hey, LA, we just want to let you know, we're letting you go. I was like, huh? Very funny, Michaela.
I'll go from there.
Her boss called me back like, hey, Michaela says you thought this was a joke. It's not a joke. You're fired. I was like, oh, thanks, Beth.
Dang.
Thanks, Bethany.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And then they called me back like a week later, like, yo, you still got our MacBook? Can we get it back? I was like, I've never seen your MacBook before.
I feel that. That's free shit. I feel that.
Bro, buddy. I would have been like, nah, I left that at my office. I don't got it.
Yeah, y'all fired me a month ago. It must have got lost.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I sent that back. Nah. What about the summer, though, y'all? For the summer, here's the question I guess I would ask. What with everything that happened, Maud Arbery, man, we lost so many people. I can't remember everybody's names. That's the most terrible thing. Breonna Taylor, all those names. Do y'all think with everybody that went out and marching that there's still hope in this country, or you think the hope is just like over with?
No, I think I lost so much hope this year.
With 2020 because of everything?
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see real change into this country until long gone.
That's crazy. Do you think?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was the point? Was it in the summer or was it recent that made you start feeling like you was hopeless with it?
I think it was the one where the dude where they put the knee on this dude's neck. George
Floyd. Yeah.
That's when I was like, and that's not what watching that video is not what hurt me. Is watching people try to justify it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like to justify it, trying to say, "Oh, he was on drugs. He's a drug addict." That gives them the right to do it.
Yeah.
If your cousin was a drug addict and I put my knee on his neck, did he deserve it?
I mean,
like what?
Nah. At the end of the day, nah. What you think, LA? You still hopeful?
So, okay, I'm going to try to explain this in the most sensible way I can. I've had this conversation with people before. I have been very hurt by this year. I'm disappointed, and it sickens me by what I've seen. But it gives me more hope because it opened my eye to see how much more growth we have as a country to make. So going down that path will be a journey, and I am afraid of what will happen before it starts getting better because it has to get worse before it gets better. Yeah. But once it does get better, it may not be for us, like Rob said, but our kids, it might be better. I'm hopeful for that. But I had this conversation about what creates the racism, right? Like what is it systemic? Is it environmental? Is it something people are born with? And like the only thing I've come down to understand is that it is just based off of fear and ignorance. Yeah. If you see somebody and just based off of their color or their hairstyle or the way they talk or the way they move, you are uncomfortable, you are afraid to the point where you don't want them to be around you, you don't want them to live, to breathe the same air as you are afraid of that person. Yeah. For you to go after a child with 3 full-grown men with weapons, what you have to be afraid. There's no sensible reason for it. And where does that fear stem from? I don't personally understand. I don't agree with it. Mm-hmm. It must be something that is in the water. I personally don't understand it, but it has to be fear. I think that is what it is. So once these people are no longer afraid of black people and black culture, and they understand and embrace and accept it, I think this shit will start to change.
I lean more towards ignorance. When you say those two things, I lean more towards ignorance, and then the victim having a fear for their life. Like, that's just the way I look at it. Because
I'm not saying a fear for your life at all. No, It's just general fear of that person. Regardless if they're even looking, they could be chewing gum on the sidewalk, and you look at that person, oh, he's got dreads, I'm afraid, I'm going to go call the cops. He's probably selling drugs. Like what? You're just...
See, to us, and I think to any black person, that's not sensible. Like, that's not a sensible fear. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you go to another country and they're doing something that's normal in that country, but it's crazy to you. Like, let's just say I go to Botswana and they're I don't know, I'll just throw the country out there, and they like literally fighting, like fist fights, and this is like everybody like in a circle, everybody just watching these two people fist fight, like Fight Club or something, and somebody turns to you and say, yeah, it's gonna be your turn soon, and then that's the person you're fighting. You're gonna be like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm a foreigner, I'm not doing this. I think the ignorance is the thing. I don't know how to describe it.
I think ignorance is giving them too much credit. I truthfully believe to be a racist, I think it's a learned behavior. And I think it's specifically learned from with probably
parents,
your environment, your family, and where you're born.
Yeah, but that's what...
But what are they teaching? To be hateful, or to what are they...
you're literally teaching. So think about how impressionable like a baby is, and just imagine saying something like around your 5-year-old. Say something like, you know how white people make those little slick comments, like a little slick comment around your 5-year-old. They're going to remember that in their head, either maybe consciously or unconsciously. That's going to be remembered in their head. So maybe when they're 7 years old and they see a black person for the first time, they might think that thought subconsciously in their head. And that's always going to be implanted in their head. And it's just that type of rhetoric getting repeated. Once you hear something so many times, no matter if it's true or not, it becomes the truth.
All right, and that's why.
Reality.
But that's why I asked that, because every once in a while you get on social media. We don't got much time. We running out. But when you get on social media, you saw so many people, white kids, younger, who's like looking at their parents and being like, "Wait, you're wrong. Like, we know that you're wrong. Like, I'm a kid and I know that you're wrong. So how are you an adult?" And I know one girl, at least it's all social media, so anything could be fake. The girl got kicked out of her house because of the way she was thinking. She wasn't going to vote for Trump, and like everything that was happening, she was just mad about it. And her parents was like, "Nah, you got to go. Like, you got to go. You got to get out of here." So that's the reason why I like, is it hopeful? Because you do have some white kids who would take it there with their parents. And tell you
those who are brainwashed.
Tell you the truth, that's all I ever asked people to do. I remember one girl, she's dating my homie. She was like, yeah, they're both white, but she was telling me about how she went out to dinner with her dad or something, and he said something that was racist, and she felt uncomfortable telling him that he was wrong in that moment. So in my mind, all I would ask for a white person is to stand up like you should. Like, and I feel like
if it's wrong, it's wrong.
And I feel like
the same way you would stand up for your gay friend if someone called them an F word, same way you need to stand up for your black friend if they call them an F word.
Yeah, hopeful. And even if it's Bubby approved, we got that. All right, Rob, take us home, man.
All right, thank y'all for listening.
Bubby approved.
Bubby approved podcast. My name is Robert. That's Darren.
Yo.
We'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all for listening.
Peace.